everyone. Today we have Kumel Zaidi with us from 2016 batch. He had cleared SNAP with an showing high percentile of 98.75, and he has prior experience in consultancy also. First of all, I would like to thank you, Bhaiya, for giving us an opportunity to have a conversation with you.
Hi,
My
thank you.
first,
Thank you so much for inviting me.
my first question from you is how and when you felt that you have to go for MBA.
Sorry, can you come again?
My first question from you is that how and when you felt that you have to go for an MBA.
Achha, when did I feel like I have to go for an MBA? It's a bit of a tricky question. So the reason I started with my graduation in mathematics was based out of my love for mathematics as a subject, like that. When I was in class 11, 12, I used to like it. Really gave me an analytical approach to thinking and solving problems, and which has helped me all throughout, even in my professional life today. I think so. During second year, after I completed second year with in my graduation, there was a period where I did intern with Chevrolet, uh, where I was in a client-facing role and customer-facing role, and I got this wonderful opportunity to get a deep dive into how businesses work and understand how the customers think. And it got me thinking that this is something I would be interested in doing, and what would be a nice way to pursue it, what would be a good way of getting to a position where I might enjoy doing that. And I thought about it, and I came up with the idea that let me pursue masters in business administration and then pursue a career which might lead me in the similar direction. So I think that is when I started thinking about it, and that is when it happened.
Okay. And what are the difficulties faced by non-commerce students while pursuing MBA? Like we are mathematicians, we go from an BSc background, and MBA
Yeah.
is sort of management and commerce course.
Yeah. So, yeah, the point is, see, business administration as a course, MBA as a course is a very varied course. So, there will be certain advantages that we as a science students will have. There will be certain advantages someone with an account background would have, and similarly, someone with an arts background would have. The trick is, and the smart thing to do is to understand your strengths and benefits and your strengths and things that you are good at, and then work around them and try to mitigate your shortcomings. I, having studied science, what science helps us with, right? Anirudh, I'm assuming your name is Anirudh, uh, is that it gives you that, especially mathematics, give you that uh, analytical approach of thinking, and also that problem solving approach. So whenever I have faced problems or whenever I have come across something, one of the things that I have in my head is let's start doing it. Okay, let me try to solve it. Let me take one step towards it. And how did it come to me? Because I am a mathematics student. I know when I am faced with this problem, let me start solving it. Let me try to look at ways of doing it. And that really helps me. So that was my strength, and I try to build on that. Not having account knowledge was, yes, something that I can always learn, right? So that I learned later. Sorry.
So basically, analytical thinking from the mathematics background helped you in MBA.
Yeah, it does. It does. In not just MBA, any professional life you take, right? At the end of the day, you are going to be someone who's going to solve some sort of a problem, right?
Mhm.
It can be a business problem, it can be a research based problem, it can be a societal social issue problem that you want to work in, it can be some operational task that you are assigned with and you have to get it solved. Solving is going to be there, and if we are as mathematics students get it imbibed in us that that is the way to do stuff, that you have to solve stuff, it always helps.
And how did you prepare for the SNAP and CAT exams?
For the preparation part, yeah, once I decided on pursuing an MBA, and I thought that let me go ahead and pursue this. For the first year that I've prepared, my focus was on completely following the structure of the syllabus and the things being covered for the particular examination. So for papers like CAT, SNAP, that all of these, the main focus is on three primary topics. A, which is quant. B, you have got your language, and C, you got your logical thing. So that is broad areas of topic and question that come from. So my focus was to first grasp all that is coming in that, which I did. I focused on that for the first 5-6 months, which was followed by doing a lot of tests and giving a lot of mocks, because that is when you start to understand and you start to realize where you stand and where your potential is and how you performing, what the real exam scenario brings, and you tend to perform differently in different pressure situations, right? And giving more mocks prepares you for that. So I mean, my first initial preparation was, yes, going through the subject that one can go through, and second part was involved and was focused on getting through a lot of mocks, doing it again and again. One thing I would add here, and this would be beneficial, I think, for my juniors and you guys, and anybody who's trying to prepare for any examination. This is something that
Yeah.
I've gained as an experience. Is whenever you're preparing for an examination, right? One thing that you have to really keep in mind is to have a bird eye view on what you're doing. When I say bird eye view, that is, you should have a bigger objective and bigger understanding of how your preparation is going. Doing the syllabus is one thing, doing test is one thing, reading up about stuff is another thing, but you should be understanding how the scenario looks, where you stand, how much you have covered. And once you have that bigger lens and bigger idea about how you're performing, how your preparation is going, then you will be able to perform better when it comes to competition examinations.
Yeah. And have you enrolled in any coaching institutes for the preparation of these entrance examinations?
Yeah, I did enroll in a from Career Launcher. I took a mock test series from them. So
Okay.
yeah, so not directly classroom session. I didn't do much, but yeah, the focus was again test. So focused on that. I had taken books from all I could. I went ahead and took it from Time as well, and got Career Launchers as well, and yeah, studied from there. But mocks I took from Career Launcher.
So one can easily crack these examinations from self-study as well.
Yeah, easily I wouldn't say, but
Yeah.
yes, it's possible. Yeah, self study is possible, and I believe why, especially for something like CAT, self study is possible, is because the subject and the syllabus that there is nothing that we haven't studied. So quant, the basis of quant we all studied, not even in 11, 12. We studied the basis of quant in our class 9th and 10th. All of us have done it. These are the very basic stuff. It is the questions are built on that. They want to analyze how well you understand that concept. And yes, there would be higher level of questions. I'm not saying the questions will be matching what you did in class 9th or 10th, but they're built on that. So once you have acquired the knowledge of the basics of those subjects, similarly for English, you are being tested on your comprehension of something that is being given to you. Logical thinking, you've been tested on how well you perceive the information presented to you, how well you can get it into a logical frame of data, and then be able to answer those. So once you're able to do that, then the rest is all about practice. So how many hours you're giving in, how many questions you're attempting every day, how many comprehensions you're trying to solve. So yes, it's possible. But if someone is looking to have those basic cleared and get a grasp of the basics also, is good. You can go ahead and take a coaching, spend time in classroom, get those basics also sorted, and then go ahead and do focus on self study.
Mm. So when is the right time to prepare for these examinations? Right, all right, from second year, or we can start preparation in the fifth semester or sixth semester.
In the see, so what happened is, if you want to job, you want to start your MBA just when your graduation ends, right? So that would mean, if you let's take the example for this year. So if in 2022 I want to start my MBA and my
Yeah.
graduation is ending in 2022, the 22 session of MBA examinations will take place in 21. All right.
Mm.
So in November, in December is when you will be writing the papers for MBA, right? So that would be your fifth semester, right? If I'm not wrong, if I remember. So if you want to focus and you want to start and want to get into an MBA college right after your graduation, then 5 semester might end up being a little late, because that is when you're writing papers. So if you want to start and if you've made up your mind, I think a good starting point is around fourth sem is when you should get serious and start preparing for it and start giving time regularly at the start of the fourth semester. And that would keep you in good state and position while you're preparing for, while you're writing these papers by the end of the fifth semester. All right. So yeah, so that is something that one can do. I don't know if you want to discuss it, but I don't know if you have a question on that. But I'd like to put it here for everyone's benefit. A majority and very important part of MBA college selection is A, you got the A, you got the written test. B is the interview process, and it is as important as the written test. Colleges Yeah, colleges have 50% weightages for that also. So your 50% you've got a percentile, you've got a call from a college, then come the interview part. The interview part for most of the colleges consists of two, three elements. A, they want to see how well you perform in group discussion. So that is something that you have to prepare, where you should know how you enter into a discussion, how you sit in a group, how you converse in a group, how you put up your point, how are you able to get your point across to the group. So you have to prepare for that. Second, they have something called a reading examination test generally for a lot
Right.
of yeah in yes. So you should be prepared for that also. You should know how to write. You should know how to be able to put your points into paper, how to construct a good essay so that someone reading it is able to understand it. And see, and one of the most important is a personal interview that one has to prepare. The personal interview, as all of us are aware, is a face-to-face interview with the interviewer, and generally these consist of people from the industry as well as professors from that organization. These are really learned and smart people who are judging you and who's trying to understand where you stand. So the preparation for this part, the second part, which involves GD, VAT, and personal interview, can't be a week's thing or can't be just understood. So whenever you start your preparation for CAT or SNAP or that, you should keep in mind that you have to keep yourself abreast with everything. So you have to be abreast with how well the economic condition of the country is, how well the finances is, which all businesses are doing well, which all businesses are not doing well. You should get an idea around this basic idea. Nobody's saying, nobody wants you to be a genius about business, but awareness is something that they would look at. So if someone is starting the preparation along with doing tests and along with studying quant and English and logical reasoning, one has to also focus on not being in touch with the current affairs, being in touch with yeah. So one advice here would be that whenever you start, just make sure that reading a good economic newspaper is part of your day. So either you start with Mint, you start with Economic Times, or you start with Business Standard. You choose, but just make that as part of your daily routine. So it helps, because general knowledge and stuff like this, it can't be built in a day. You have to have a longer period
Yeah.
on.
So when should one do an MBA after gaining some work experience direct after graduation? It would be more beneficial for
Yeah,
an individual.
there is argument for both, and uh, whichever one feels good with, they can go ahead with. But me, someone who did it just after graduation and went in without work, I think for me the idea and the learning from MBA was slightly different in the sense that I, for one, was thrown into this world of extreme pressure and was given this taste of how the corporate works and how the corporate wants you to work. And it was something new for me. For someone who might be doing an MBA once they've gone to a corporate, that might not come as something new for them. But it prepared me for it. I got to know my shortcomings. I got to know my strengths while doing an MBA. And when I entered a corporate, it wasn't a jolt for me, because I have already been taught and I have experienced this through my through the kind of pressure that we create in an MBA college for students to prepare, and B, through my summer internship, that I was prepared when I entered my corporate life. So I mean, it works. It worked for me doing it just after graduation, but it also works for people who want to do it even later after gaining certain years of experience in the professional life. Both of it stand good for both kind of yeah entry.
So how to create a good profile for B schools? Like right now, people who are writing CAT and I am ABC just are calling for the profile based selection. So how can one create a good profile for a B school?
Yeah, a good profile. Anirudh, is again, it can't be done in a day, right? You can't just go ahead and get a good profile. Uh, our focus, see, has should be on academics. All of us have kept that, right? But along with that, you should keep doing extracurricular activity. So get involved in as many events as you can, organizing events, uh, participating in events, participating in performances, participating in sports, and all this stuff helps you a lot because it gives a new flavor to your CV. It gives a new flavor to your profile. Yes, focus on your academics. Nobody's saying academics are not important. They are important, especially for an MBA examination. You will find academics are important, but along with that, go for all kind of extracurricular activities. I'll give you an example. In my scenario itself, so my academics were fine, right? In my graduation days, I did perform pretty well. But what stood out in my application or in my profile was that I had an experience of working with the Mathematical Society. So I was president for 2 years during my time in Ramanujan, and it stood out because I had held a position of responsibility. Hey,
Yeah.
holding that position of responsibility, I got opportunity to organize certain. We had interdepartmental fest. I got an opportunity to do that. Along with that, I participated in a lot of other events that happen in and around you. And I think that is something that we are blessed with, like as Delhi University students. There's so much event happening all around your college, your different departments, your other colleges in the university. You can go there and try to get involved in this, participate in this event. You might turn out, you might understand that you're really good with other stuff also. You might understand, you might learn, you might figure out that you're good with oratory skills. You might figure out you're good with drama. You might figure out you're good with theater. A, it helps you grow. B, your CV looks good. Having more flavor to the CV is the point that you have to keep in mind. Do more stuff. Do more variety of stuff. So I had, like I mentioned, the presidentship. I had sport also involved in my CV. I during my school days I used to participate in cricket a lot. So that was a very important part of my CV. The MBA that I've ended up doing, right? So I'll give you this anecdote. So from SMHRT, when I went in that interview, my whole interview was based around my love for the game of cricket, my passion for it, my understanding for it. And they were, I think 50% of the interview was tailored around it. And once that happens, right, what it does, Andrew, is now it is my happy zone. It's my good zone. That's my strength. Cricket, I know I can answer anything in this world they ask me. And I can now drive the interview. So when you have varied stuff in your CV, then the conversation goes beyond just what you did in academics, right?
And I want to ask a question: how to maintain balance between preparation and the academics?
Balance. Yeah, see, I know I mean, I will be very candid about this, and you must have realized it in being in DU right now that our courses and the subjects that we have, if we focus, if we are away, if we are in the classrooms and we're taking notes and we're understanding from the teachers, we don't have to go home and study about them every day. If we have understood the concept while we're in class, and just before examinations we give time before exams, and we have good amount of I think leaves before we go for exams. Every exam we have 2 to 3 days, and I think that is enough. You just understand the concept, read about it before exam, you'll end up doing well. That is how I did it, and I mean I did pretty well. I wasn't the topper. I wasn't the weakest of the students, but I did it recently well. And following this formula only, focus in class, and then while the examinations are there, they're going on, just read about it 2 to 3 days, enough for your academy. Now, what it does, it frees up your time when you're at home. Once you're done with your classes, now it frees up your time. So now focus
Yeah.
on your CAT, focus on your examination for SNAP, that, and you do it.
And how many internships should one go during undergrad?
Sorry, come again.
How many internships should one do in the undergrad?
Yeah, in your undergrad, see, internship, nobody is going to really hold it against you that you didn't do internships in your undergrad. Nobody expecting that from you. It just comes at an added advantage if you have done something. If you have done something, you've got experience, it comes as an added advantage. So yeah, go ahead, do it, focus. And the second year, I think something, we have a lot of time on our hand. We can always go ahead and get an internship under the belt. It see more than the CV, it gives us a taste of how the world works and the corporate works. So one should have that, but nobody is going to hold it against you. If you haven't had an internship in your graduation, nobody is expecting you to have one.
Yeah. So can a mathematics student directly get into HR and operations without an MBA, or should an MBA is necessary?
Yeah, see, necessary. I wouldn't say nothing is necessary in this world. You can switch streams whenever you want. You can, a mathematical student can get into marketing if they want. I got into marketing after being a mathematics graduate. A mathematical student can go anywhere. It's the beauty of mathematics. It prepares you for the world. Now you go ahead and choose what kind of stream you want to do. So we are blessed that way. All of us are blessed that way. Now we are in a very good looked up to stream of studies that helps us gain experience. Going into directly going into operations or directly going into HR, if you get an opportunity, it's good. Go ahead, do it, work there. All right. What an MBA would do is not just educational, not just academic learning it gives you. The biggest and the strongest point about an MBA, right, is your peer learning. So I came to my graduation college with very similar people around me. People, we've all done mathematics, we have all done class 12, similar kind of thinking, similar kind of experience in life, same age. I went for an MBA. I was studying someone who was 6 years older than me. I was studying with someone who have done bachelor's in pharma. I was studying with someone who's done bachelor's in mass media. These are such variety of people and variety of students around you and people around you that it gives you a different perspective to everything. My perspective, I have come across people who are totally different in their perception of stuff, and I look at them, I converse with them, and I understand how much I've grown after that conversation, because I couldn't perceive it in that way earlier. So peer learning really helps you. Those discussions when you have with your classmates, those discussions that you have with your teachers and with your professors, it opens up your mind. It gives you a broader understanding of the world. So you do an MBA to get all that in. Yeah, getting a job after that, all of us want it. Getting a job, getting a career after that. Yeah, you might do that even directly after an MBA. You get a job in operation and directly get into it. But MBA provides you with that culture of debating everything, of questioning everything, of finding different ways of looking at it, and your peer learning just goes over the two.
So what was your weakest subject when you started preparation for the MBA examinations, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, we can see. I have been a very, I won't lie, but I have been average with all three of my subjects. I was good with, yeah, I was good with quant, and I wasn't good with quant. I was good with English. I wasn't good with English. I was good with logical reasoning. I wasn't good with all of this. I had understanding and I had interest all throughout my student age. And so when I started, I felt what I really lacked was how to write exams. And that is something that we don't focus on. Writing exams is very important. Knowing, we might know a lot of stuff, but how do you channel around? How do you move around in an examination? How much time you spend on one stuff? How do you time spend on other stuff? How do you choose which question to attempt? How do you choose which question to leave? no cat topper is getting 100% marks. They're 100 percentile, which is that they got highest marks than anyone else, but none of them is 100%. You only have to get around 50% of marks. So to be able to process which 50% to not attempt at all is a skill in itself, right? So that is, I think that is where I realized what my weak point was, not really knowing how to write paper, and how I dealt with it is to write multiple papers. I wrote mock test, and I understood. Oh, this is a mistake I made this time. Analyzed it, moved on. Next time did again, made some other mistake. Or strategize it for myself. And there is no right way or wrong way here, right? It is everyone's individual way of doing it. So everyone has to do it in their own way. I got to do it in my own way. That was my focus for that period when I was preparing, was to get better at choosing questions, get better at attempting papers. And yeah, that is how I worked on it.
So, society's experience do play a crucial role during the selection process of MBA. If we have a society experience like
Yeah,
that of entrepreneurial and
very,
financial.
very, yeah, correct. And it really helps you, because what it does, it shows that you were someone who took an initiative to do it, right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of students. Not everybody joined the club. Why did you not join the club? Why would someone not join a club? We have time at our hands. We have come here to learn only, right? So once that is shown on your CV and that comes out with your conversations as well, it really shows, okay, so this guy is action oriented. This girl is action oriented. She wants to really pursue and take initiative. And that is, there's a strong bias to action in an MBA college, or also in a professional life. Any interview you will give in your life, right, going forward, there'll be a lot of focus on, are you action oriented? Do you take an action? Do you get it solved? And being part of a society which is not imposed, right? Nobody is imposed. Academic is imposed. You have to clear examinations to get your degree. Nobody is imposing the societal experience on you, right? But you took it. You took that initiative. Yeah.
Yeah.
So A, yeah, it helps you with that. B, also, as I mentioned earlier, it gives flavor to your profile. It gives flavor. It ends up having a point of discussion with the panel. And it helps you.
And at last, I would like to ask, please give us some tips about personal interview.
With personal interview. With personal interview, I think one of the biggest learning that I have gained till now, the plethora of interviews I have given, is that you should be very sure of what you are and what you have written in your CV. All right, you shouldn't have written anything on that CV that you're not sure. You prepare a two-page CV, you prepare a one-page CV. The least the panel would expect is for you to be thorough with it. All right, go. And so once you can read that, that is something you can do as a homework. You can prepare it, your CV properly, right? Other than that, when you go in an interview, always be confident. All right, always be confident. The interviewer, first of all, the interviewer is not sitting there to judge you. If they want to grill you, right, they will be always with higher experience than you. Always, always. Even today, when I go for an interview, people are way more experienced than me. I can't ever be able to answer them everything they want to know. So if they want to grill me, they'll be able to grill me. All right. So I will go there with this mindset that, all right, I know certain stuff. You need these certain stuff from me. I'll answer it. If I don't know something, I'll tell you I don't know this, but I can always attempt it. I can tell them if there's a question that I'm stuck with and I don't know that answer. I can always tell them I don't know this answer, but let me attempt it. Then it shows how you approach problems, because they want to see that you're approaching it right. You have the right mindset, you have the right approach to stuff. So approach is very important. You show that in an interview. Be confident, smile, be smartly dressed. That goes a long way. The first impression that you create on a panel really helps you with your way in that interview. And yeah, be confident about it. It will help you. But yeah, homework wise, your CV, you should be very thorough.
Okay. So, at last, I would like to thank you for giving us a precious time to have a conversation with you. So guys, stay tuned with us
Thank
for
you.
next episode in the series. Thank you.
Thank you very much.